learning at the heart of teaching is what makes for a good teacher. A teacher who can respond to change, who can question the status quo, who can ask new questions. So that's what this project is about. It's about creating a collaborative group of teachers who support each other and doing inquiry on their practice, and the inquiry is focused on student learning. And we hope to build a network of everyone in this room and the people that you will influence when you leave here, so that it's beginning a movement about honoring teaching practice and the professional work of teachers in new and exciting ways. And so just getting the start and seeing this work that the Teacher Scholars have done this year is the first step of a big agenda we have of making a big change in our community and for the kids that we serve.
We have a very broad conception of data. Out in the world, when you hear data-driven instruction, generally that means looking at standardized test scores and benchmark assessments to guide instruction. And those data can give really important information about who's proficient and who's not in certain areas, but they don't really provide much information for teachers about what's getting in the way of individual student learning. So that's where the Mills Teacher Scholars Program picks up. That's where our work begins.
So one thing that Mills Scholars is asking us to do is to take our assumptions about our practice and look at data to confirm whether or not these assumptions are correct. And that's data that you cannot find by looking at 80% proficient, 90% proficient, 20% proficient. You can't really uncover what did you do that made this work? What was the change that actually brought about the student understanding? Scholars is asking us to think deeply about how did you teach it, how did your students learn it, and to track that process.
We talked about Mills Scholars as having Mills Scholars on our campus and having as many teachers who wanted to work using this inquiry model to come aboard, and our target was 4 teachers. We had 12 the first year, which says something about my staff, but I also think it says something about the necessity and the need for teachers to really look at their work in a different way, in a deeper way, and then change their practice accordingly.
This is my second year participating in Mills Scholars, and the question I chose this year was about phonics. I wanted to see what would happen if I provided phonics instruction to my struggling readers through a variety of assessments, sitting and reading with kids, phonics inventories, asking them questions when I read out loud, just talking to families, so many things. I was able to kind of identify which kids had their real problem with comprehension, which kids the real problem was actually English language, which kids was a social emotional obstacle that was getting in their way, and then which kids it really was phonics.
This is a place where teacher leadership is being developed. We are not being told what to do and how to do it, but we are all more enthusiastic about trying something new that a colleague has presented to us, because we trust each other, because we know we have the best interest of our kids at heart.